The Honorable William C. Pryor will then present the Judge Pryor Legacy Award. And then Jason Sims will present the Community Service Award, followed by Julie Aikman, who will present the Unsung Hero Award. I see they're all in the wings, so they know their jobs.
How y'all doing? All right. Part of what I'm supposed to do here today is deliver an address and speak on behalf of the class. And I think the large reason that I was selected is because I promised them I'd be brief. And I have a few comments, and let me just say I'm not going to be long-winded at this task. Before I begin, I need to thank Dr. Sessoms, Dean Broderick, our honored guest, our distinguished faculty, and our family and friends for sharing this day with us. Because I'm not sure whether you realize it or not, but this has been a long journey for us all. It's only been 3 years, but when we started, there was no guarantee that we would finish. There's many that started with us that didn't finish, that are not sitting here today. And the reason we are is because of hard work and determination and the feeling that we just weren't going to quit when it feel like we should. And for that, we honor. Today is kind of bittersweet because yes, this is the end of something and the start of something new, but we're walking out into a world that's not the greatest. We have a new government, but at the same time we're ending one war while starting another. Our economy's in shambles, car manufacturers are going bankrupt, we have the highest unemployment in generations. Needless to say, I think we all know in the first 3 rows that job prospects for us is less than great. So it's those thoughts that I reflected of why did we do this? Some of us left perfectly good careers to do this. To find ourselves unemployed or with thousands of dollars of debt. Why? Why did we do that? And I thought back to when we first began. Back on those warm August mornings in 2006. The very first day when we met out on the breezeway to begin new student orientation, and all of us were all bright and shiny and new. And most of us were still scratching our heads wondering what that Derek Bell book was really all about. But we started. And we sat in small groups and we shared our stories and we talked about where we were from and why we came. And more importantly, what it is that we were going to do once we left. And each story was different and personal and unique, but a common theme ran through them all. We all wanted a change. We wanted to change our lives or our jobs, or we wanted to change the state of somebody else. Some of us wanted to work on women's issues, domestic violence on the international scene. Some people wanted to work for environmental justice or tenants' rights. Everybody saw the status quo and said, this ain't right. Let's do something different. And so we came. Some of us had just meager ambitions. I recall somebody telling the story of all they wanted when they graduated was to make a change in their own community. So when they walked back into church on a Sunday morning, maybe a little girl in a pew might tug on her mom's sleeve and point and say, look, mommy, that lady's a lawyer, so maybe I can be too. And those are the changes that we wanted to make once we left. But a funny thing happened along the way. The change we were looking for won't start after we leave. That change happened on the very first day. That change happened when we assembled one of the most diverse law school classes in the nation. We are white, black, Hispanic, Latino, Asian. Thank you. We are gay and straight. We are conservative and liberal. Some of us are a little socialist. But those are the changes that we made because we assembled a diverse class and we allowed every voice to be heard. But that wasn't enough. Once we started the classes, we rejected the old law school paradigm of what it took to succeed in law school. We didn't do it at the sake of our fellow student. We didn't step on somebody else's neck to get ahead. We didn't rip pages out of books or steal books out of libraries. information. We did the opposite. We gave information. And if you needed outline, we gave it. And if you needed a study group, we formed it. Because we knew that in order for one of us to succeed, it would take all of us to succeed. But the change we brought about while we were here was not for our own self-benefit. When we got to clinic, we affected real change in people's lives. We provided over 52,500 hours of service to the District of Columbia. To residents of this great city/state, who otherwise might not have representation because they simply couldn't afford it, but we stood up and we provided that. And it's in clinic where we affected change. It's in clinic where Brandon helped a grandmother who happened to be HIV positive get custody of her granddaughter after 13 years of trying. It's in clinic where I heard Smack yell on the phone every day to the DC public school system demanding that they give the level of education that they admitted they needed to give. And it's in clinic where Eric and Angela pushed back against CFSA and made them do their jobs. It's in clinic where they worked hour after hour, week after week, until they were finally able to return a small child to his family just days before Christmas. Those are the changes that we made. And those are the changes that we are capable of. And those are the changes that we will make when we leave. And it reminds me of a young man who was simply the junior senator from Illinois, who had the audacity to believe that things could be different, when he said, change will not come if we wait for some other time or some other person. We are the change that we seek. And it's with those words in our ears that I want us to walk out of here with our heads held pride, job or no job. And realize what we are truly capable of, and to hold that in your heart. Because there might come a time, years from now, after we pass the bar, you got to speak it in prophecy. There might come a time after we pass the bar and we're sitting alone in our law office after the end of a very long day, and we've just been beaten down, and we'll feel the weight of the world on our shoulders, and we'll just know that the change we need is never going to come. I want us to remember what we've done here today and what is possible. And let's walk proudly and firmly in the knowledge that change will come, but only if we demand it. Thank you, class of 2009.